Hello, thank you again for tuning into the Diaspora Panel. This is the Diaspora Panel, the voice of the diaspora. First of all, I want to welcome you to the new year. Happy New Year to all our viewers. Thank you for standing by us for the whole of last year. Thank you for all the views. Thank you for all the messages that we receive. This is a new year, and we promise that this year we're going to serve you better. Today, I have with me, as always, I have Mr. Olaitan Adedigba, who is based in the United States of America. Mr. Olaitan Adedigba, you are welcome to today's meeting.
Yeah, good afternoon, and nice having me this afternoon.
I also have Mr. Ola Lawal, who is based in Canada. Mr. Lawal, you are also welcome to today's meeting.
Thank you for having me.
And the last but not the least is my very good friend, Mr. Ademola Adisa, who is based in the United Kingdom. Mr. Adisa, you are also welcome.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you all.
Today, we're going to discuss endorsements by political godfathers. This is what seems to be going on in Nigeria right now. I mean, we are talking about the presidential election of 2023, which is just about less than 50 days, if I'm wrong, about less than 40 days away now. So in the last few weeks, we've seen endorsements, especially by former president, Chief President General Olusegun Obasanjo, who has endorsed Mr. Peter Obi as the next president of Nigeria. Also, the leader of the South, Chief Edwin Clark, has also endorsed Peter Obi as the next president of Nigeria. And one of the G5 governors, Governor Otom of Benue State, has also endorsed Peter Obi. And we have seen that Peter Obi in the last few months seems to be gaining momentum. There seems to be a momentum behind him. He's been favored by so many political players, as I've just said. So will this endorsement be a positive thing for Peter Obi? Will it affect his fortune positively? And will it affect the fortunes of all the other contestants negatively? How will this play out? And I'm going to start with you. You're a political pundit, Olaitan.
Yeah,
when you look at Obi's, when you look at Obi's candidacy and his infrastructure, do you think President Obasanjo and Chief Edwin Clark will give him the kind of infrastructure he needs to become president of Nigeria?
Is highly relative, and one should be practical in looking at it. The endorsement by Peter Obi, I mean by elder statesman Edwin Clark and Chief Obasanjo, I mean President Olusegun Obasanjo, is nothing but a fluke. I must say, I say this from the experience. Remember, President Olusegun Obasanjo endorsed Atiku. He was carrying Atiku all around the place. That okay, Atiku is the best person. Atiku is the best person to do the job, right? Back in 2019, what came out of it? Atiku lost. Even our church president, the winner church, he has more people behind him than Obasanjo. I mean, APC won the election. So forget about endorsing it. Everybody knows that Obasanjo has been always anti-progressive in Nigeria. He never supported Obafemi Awolowo. He never supported MK Abiola. I mean, you want him to support Tinubu. Tinubu that fought him to a standstill for 8 years while he was the governor in Lagos State. No, he will not support him. And the altercations between them. So all these congeal together. Obasanjo will not support Tinubu. So as a result, it is just a call to action that Tinubu should do his homework well. With the endorsement, with everything, Tinubu will floor every one of them. Mark my word. By the grace of God, Tinubu will come out victoriously in the name of Jesus. So I have no doubt in my mind that all the endorsement is just a fluke, right? It doesn't hold water. What is the Obi antecedent? People are rational. They are not brain dead. They know what is going on. Everybody know what is. How can you compare collection of car with a loudness? You want to compare Tinubu to Obi? On what basis? Is it in terms of political clout? Is it in terms of human capital development? Is it in terms of infrastructural development? Is it in terms of development in their various states? Two of them have been the same. Two of them had the same office for 80 years. Look at their antecedents. You can't compare them. So that is my stake.
Thank you. So,
yeah, so to kind of address this issue, I think two things that I would like to say first and foremost. I keep hearing everybody saying that, it's not important, the endorsement doesn't mean anything. But nevertheless, that's what we all keep talking about. If it's not important, why is everybody fussing about it? I think it's probably my first statement. But I think we need to actually look at the letter. I would actually not call it an endorsement. I've gone through the letter. I will call it a clarion call. A clarion call, especially to young Nigerians. And I want to point our attention to something very, very important that he said in that letter. He said he appealed to young Nigerians to stop inheriting other people's prejudices and enemies. That is a very, very, very strong statement. He is appealing to young Nigerians to forget whatever they have heard or whatever their parents or predecessors might have told them, but to look forward and build a new Nigeria that is inclusive, a new Nigeria that is just, a new Nigeria that is fair, and that allows opportunities for everyone, irrespective of your race, your tribe, or your social status. That is the type of Nigeria that we need. Secondly, he said something. He said, none of these presidential candidates are saints. He said that. And he said, but based on the efforts required to stay focused on the job, particularly looking at where the country is, and with the experience that he personally has on the job, he believes Peter Obi, as a mentee, has an edge. So he's not saying that other candidates are not qualified. He's saying that based on what he knows and based on what he has seen and based on his experience in terms of what he believes the job entails and requires, Peter Obi has an edge. And I think a lot of young Nigerians align with that. This is the only campaign where people are stepping forward to use their resources, to use their influence, to use everything that they have because they believe in that movement. They believe in that vision. All of the other campaigns, you have to either give people money or you have to promise people something to get them moving. This is a movement. And I believe firmly that this from President Olusegun Obasanjo is that fire that will ignite that movement and take it across the finish line.
Thank you very much, Shupo. Demola, what is your opinion about this endorsement? Hello, can you hear me, Demola?
I'm very happy for I'm very happy for the presentation of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. It is a clarion call, as Super said, to the youth. And I'm not surprised after all the summation of his call for the youth to take over, for him to recommend or name his preferred choice within the leading contestants now. The youngest of them all, of those leading contestants, being Peter Obi. So it will be a total rubbish if he has picked any other person. I haven't been calling for the youth to take over and then to endorse or prefer any other person, any older person for that position. So I'm not surprised with his choice. But my contention is that the criteria is used, which he called a TV CP. And that criteria, if he has measured it adequately well, then it should cut across age barrier. Based on his analysis, it shouldn't have been either you are youth or you are old, you are well. If you meet those 4 laid down criteria, T, which is being a track record, V, your vision, and C, your character, and P, your physical ability. If he has based all those on his projection and able to nominate somebody, then I don't think he has actually make the right choice, because Obi has not fulfilled all those criteria more than any other contestants. Because to me, I believe Tinubu fulfilled at least 3 of those contestants higher than Obi. And for him to not say that Obi is it, that means he has his prejudice already. Now, endorsement or no endorsement, we know the value, what endorsement meant for. And it depends, the credibility of any endorsement depends on who is endorsing who and who is being endorsed. So if you are good enough in your record, then people will listen to you and your endorsement will mean value. And also depend on the product you are endorsing. If the product you're endorsing is not good, then people will take your endorsement as nothing.
Thank you very much, Demola. I'm going to go back to you now, Lighton. Now, when we talk about political infrastructure in Nigeria, we are talking about person or people or group that can deliver a constituency. We are talking about individuals, or we are talking about social, maybe social club that can actually deliver the votes. Now, when you look at President Olusegun Obasanjo, in 1999, when he became president again for the second time after his 3-year rule as head of state, he was practically dragged out of a prison and then, put on top of it. At that moment, he didn't even win in the Southwest, his constituency. He didn't win there. I mean, we know how he became president. He was, kind of forced upon Nigerians. And up to today, I don't think the president, the former president, has any political infrastructure himself. I don't think he can deliver Ogun State where he came from. So, Lighton, can you look at, Obasanjo's trajectory, and including the leader of the South, Edwin Clark? Are they political infrastructure by themselves? Can they deliver for Peter Obi?
Anybody that wants to, all of them, 2 of them that are clamoring for Peter Obi, can they deliver their word? You remember 2019 election? Obasanjo lost in his word to Buhari, to APC. He was supporting Atiku, and they won in his constituency, right? So what are they going to offer? You don't tar the road. You are not loved by. You are not respected in your community. You are talking. It's not It is when you are taught, you can muster, you can say, okay, people, this is where I want you to go, that you can dictate the movement of the people. No, you don't do that. You don't respect nobody respects you. The road to your altar is being controlled by Buhari. The infrastructure. I went there when I was in Nigeria. I went towards that place. I saw the place. Nobody will respect you. These are the area they want to see. You don't impart the life of the people. You are appealing to the youth now. That the youth in your letter, you are appealing to the youth that the youth should take their life by their own. They should take the bush by their own. They should do this. What have you done to impart to the youth development in Nigeria? You were there for 8 years. What have you done? You never did anything for the youth. You don't believe that they existed. You are now clamoring. You are now appealing to sentiment. You are inciting them against somebody. The guy who can deliver, who can 100%, who can make use of the people to achieve results is Tinubu, right? I remember when Obi sent the Yorubas away to Lagos. He sent the Yorubas in Anambra. He sent them to Lagos. Until Fashola sent the Igbos. He sent them to, so he sent them back to Anambra. Obi was saying Lagos was no man's land. You remember, these are the areas you need to think about. Look at the antecedents. Look at what has happened. Look at how they impacted the lives of the people. Right? These are the areas we want. These are what we call leadership. You don't just call. You don't just wake up and be addressing people. And what is your antecedent? How far have you impacted their life? What have you done to achieve results? Right? So these are the areas we need to look at. And Nigerians, they should be asking questions. They should not be docile, not to ask questions. What have you done? What have you achieved? How far have you impacted their lives? These are the areas we need to focus upon.
Thank you.
Right? When you don't ask questions, you don't ask questions. That means you are okay.
Okay.
With
Thank
the way
you.
they are
I think
and they should be challenging people. Say that again.
If we look at it from a different perspective, in 2019, I believe he did not support President Muhammadu Buhari. Before then, he did. In 2015, I also supported President Muhammadu Buhari, looking at that, if we so call it, his antecedents. That's what he did when, or what he was able to accomplish within the short time that he was a military dictator. I think all of us, if we look back now, will agree that supporting him and looking at what he's been able to achieve in Nigeria, or lack thereof, that was the wrong candidate. So what am I trying to say? I guess what I'm saying is that we can talk about antecedents, we can talk about that. When people who have erred in the past recognize their error and they try to make up for it, if we look at it that what is the antecedent, we are not going to benefit from their experience. I want everybody to read the statement or the letter that he wrote. He said, he didn't say nobody was qualified. He said all of them are qualified and none of them are saints. He said that clearly. He said, but clearly, from what he knows about what it takes to do the job, one has an edge. That's the way he put it. So to me, I think he's done the job. He understands the intricacies of the job, the politics, even the physical toll it takes on the individual. He understands it. And for me, this is one reason why I think Atiku Abubakar and Tinubu, as brilliant as they may be, as well-versed in politics as they may be, I think they are exhausted. We need fresh blood. We need younger people. We need to bring our best and brightest to the table. So, we can take it for all it is. We can argue that he has not done anything for the youth, okay, but now he's trying to do something. That letter was addressed to young people. He has lived his own life. There is nothing that he's looking to achieve any longer. maybe in a few years, another decade, if he's lucky, he's still around. So he's talking to the people whose future depends on the decision that will be made at the polls by the end of February this year. And I think it was done in good faith. No offense to anybody. We all have candidates and we all have different horses in this race. But I have tried to look at that letter objectively, to take a step back. And I believe that, in my opinion, the endorsement will carry a lot of weight.
Thank you.
Finally, just very quickly, I think one thing that this letter, as far as I'm seeing, is also doing this, is urging Nigerians to think in a different way. When Mr. Adidigba said, deliver a constituency, how do people deliver constituents in the past? It's through undemocratic processes. What we are seeing now is a big battle of ideas. In the last couple of elections, how many times do you see pundits talk about, the strengths that each of their candidates bring to the table? This is about the first time. There are so many ideas on the table. This is a battle of ideas as to where Nigeria needs to go. And I think it will mark a new turning in the way we actually play our politics.
Thank you. Demola, before you answer, I just want to mention something to Shukwa, that we are talking about General Obasanjo, who has ruled Nigeria for a total of 11 years. During those 11 years, 3 as a military head of state, 8 as a democratic president. So if he says, I didn't do anything because it was a military rule, then, but you are a president also for 8 years. If within those 11 years, he has provided electricity, he has provided good water, he has provided employment for all these youths, we will not be where we are today. So for somebody to now come and be behaving like a pope, as if he's the Messiah, I think that is something we need to be talking about. So, Demola, but the question I want you to answer is, this man who is now coming to say, youth, you should vote this way and that, does he have any infrastructure himself? He doesn't have any money to give to Obi. He doesn't have any vote he can give to Obi. He doesn't have any goodwill he can give to Obi. What does he have? What is he going to give to Obi? What is the endorsement worth?
Thank you, DG. Let me put this way, because it's always glaring that Obasanjo doesn't have any political infrastructure. The infrastructure he's having is usually the one that belongs to the party. And I don't know if he's still with PDP or not, if he's still actively in politics. It's an elder statement. We respect him for it. It's an elder statement. We respect him for it, and he's also recognized globally by the international community as one of the leaders in Africa. Other than that, with regard to political infrastructure, there's nothing I can say that he has that can influence election for Obi. But as I can say, it's what ways, because when he talks, people listen and people always react. He has touched on a lot of good things in his speech, which is very attractive to the youth and also to the current political dispensation. But that doesn't mean that he is doing it in good faith for the benefit of the youth, or other than for his own self-interest. Obasanjo wants to still have political clout over the country, even though he's no more in a political position, but he still wants to be controlling the political discussion in Nigeria. So he's only begging for relevance.
Yeah.
And to me, his relevance is really is very limited now. Not only because not only because it's no more having political clout, because is of little influence on the political leaders of today, because the current political leaders are not people of his own interest. They are not people that of his likes. So, and they are not of the same political group. So they are not. So it doesn't seem to be having a much influence politically. And the only way he can do that is to make noise for people for him to be relevant. So he's begging for relevance and for attention. So I don't think he has that political clout. But let me put it this way: he has emphasized on 4 core things, which on the basis of endorsement, and most of those things are not. It's not consistent and it's not relevant, because in 2007, 2007, when he does his Yaradua, his endorsement carry Yaradua won, but we know what ended up with Yaradua. In 2011, he endorsed Jonathan. Jonathan won, and we know what happened at the end of Jonathan. Likewise, he endorsed in 2015, he endorsed Buhari, and Buhari won. 2019, he endorsed Atiku, and Atiku lost very, very woefully. 27 and 11 and 19 that he endorses is because the people are from the PDP. And it's only Buhari, because when he endorsed Buhari, because the current political situation at that period was against PDP. So he wasn't doing it because on those principles, he do it on self-recognition for attention. I don't think he's working on the people's back this time around, and I don't think it will work.
Okay, Demola, thank you very much. Lighton, I'm going to go back to you finally. This is the final thoughts. So
Hello.
I want to talk specifically today. I want us to discuss specifically Peter Obi's chances. So now, the endorsement that I think is very, very important is that of the G5. I think that's what Peter Obi needs. Lighton, if you are looking at Obi's constituency, what I'm thinking is that Obi will possibly, most likely, get a lot of votes from the 5 southeastern states, and he will get a few votes also from the south, okay, from places like from Delta and all these other states, because of the affinity, that southern unity is there. Now, we are now seeing the G5, that is the governor, those 5 governors who have rebelled against their own party, led by Wike. If these G5 governors are able to give their support to Peter Obi, do you think that it's going to be a threat to Jagaban if that happens?
It's very it's very dicey to calculate with the way. Don't forget the elections in the south, southeast. The population of those people, they are just like population of Kano, Kaduna, like 3 states in the northern states. So if Jagaban can have 50-50, if Jagaban can have like 50-50% or like 60-60% in the south, in the northeast, northwest, north central, and Jagaban have like 50% in southwest, southeast, on the southern part, in the southwest, and he has like 25%. Jagaban already won, irrespective of all these primordial calculations from the eastern part. What is their population? So these are the areas I'm looking at. People keep clamoring. People keep clamoring. But I know for sure that Obi might not win, but it will be a spoiler.
Okay, so when you mean spoiler, what does that mean? What does that mean? But for our viewers, we want to know what's the spoiling?
Atiku is out of the race. The race is between Obi and Jagaban.
Yeah.
And if Atiku and Tinubu, they divide the election in the north, in the south, no doubt about it, people are routing for, in the southwest, people are routing for Obi, no doubt.
In the southwest.
In the southwest, people are routing for Obi.
Southwest.
I have the feeling, even my colleagues who are lecturing in university in the southwest, they are saying no, they want to be there. I said, why? They said no, they want to be. That is what they, to my chagrin, it surprised me that they said no, Tinubu is too old. This is what they are saying. But nonetheless, I know the southwest will be divided, but Tinubu will have the edge.
Okay.
Right? So in the eastern part, they have the east and south. They are so the majority of election, I mean, the majority of the votes will come from the north and the west. And so once Tinubu can garner the majority of the vote and he has 25% in the northeast, south, I mean in the south and southeast, that is, he already win the election.
Okay, I think she was guessing, yeah.
Yes. So, and I have more good news for you.
Okay.
Yesterday, I watched for the first time a short movie made completely in Hausa by Northerners for Northern audience, trying to convince Northerners why it is a good idea to vote for Peter Obi. And you know what some of the people said? They said, if you look at this current administration, president is from the north. And then they began to count all of the key positions in government that are all filled by Northerners. And then they said, okay, so how has this benefited the north? We are the least when it comes to education. The security situation is worse in the northern part of the country. So what is really our benefit when we have all these people in government and yet, we are facing all of these problems? So there is, and I'm trying to say this, there is a change in how people are thinking in Nigeria about selecting their next leader. I will say something else also. I mean, we've all talked about, I think it was Mr. Desa that talked about the fact that, Obasanjo endorsed somebody in 2019, the person didn't win. That is one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is in his judgment. This person that he did not endorse, who became elected, has it turned out to be better for Nigeria? I think we can all agree that the answer is no. So to me, that actually demonstrates that, peradventure, if Atiku had been elected, the country probably would have gone a different direction. Finally, if we look at it from the perspective of what he achieved in his administration, because I think there's been some, comments about him not achieving anything. He achieved a lot. No single president would do everything in 8 years. 8 years is a short period of time in the history of any country. He negotiated and significantly paid down Nigeria's debt. I mean, even that alone, easing Nigeria off its debt burden would have, had provided an opportunity for incoming administrations to be able to use more of Nigeria's growth and Nigeria's income to actually further develop the country. That didn't happen. So, we can all argue here about what he achieved, what he didn't achieve, and I don't think that's what we intend to discuss today. But what I'm trying to say is that Nigerians are now thinking differently about how to choose their leader. You see, all of this political infrastructure, that is the thing of the past. Nobody is going to collect money and give their PVC out now because people are beginning to recognize that they are selling not only their own future, but the future of their own children. There are clarion calls from Obasanjo, as I have said, that's the way I see the letter, and from many other well-meaning Nigerians. People who traditionally will say they have no infrastructure, but a person here, a person there, all adds up to that movement.
Thank you.
I think we're seeing today is a massive movement that is being orchestrated by average Nigerians to take their country back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Obedient. So
Peter Obi.
let's go over to Demola for his own last comment. So Demola, the question I've been asking is, we know that Obi is gaining momentum, but we know that right now we cannot pinpoint his constituencies. We know that it comes from the Southeast, and the people in the Southeast, they have no choice. They need to support their own. So, but what about if Obi gains the support of the G5? Will he at that point become a threat to the ruling party? Mr. Adisa.
Okay. Okay, thank you. What I was saying about endorsement, you need to know when somebody is endorsing a candidate, the weight of that endorsement depends on the pedigree and the respect and the how people perceive the credibility of the person that is recommending or endorsing somebody for an office.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the G5 have their own, as you have already said, even it's obvious now that they will not be speaking with one voice on endorsing any of the candidate. Author has already expressed his endorsement of Obi.
Correct.
The other four have not stated where their preferences are yet, and they promise that they will make a statement when it's necessary. So let's wait for that. But I don't think the endorsement may likely have more effect because they have structures, they have followers, they have people that they can influence to vote on behalf of the people. They have more clout on having influence than that of the endorsement of Obasanjo. So that may have a certain credibility or effect on because of their influence on ability to influence the voters within their regions of residence. So they may have more effect. Obasanjo have no constituency. He has no infrastructure before. So his endorsement depends on how people value his credibility and sincerity of his endorsement. So, and that cannot be measured now. But he always created controversy, and he already created the controversy, which may have a negative effect on people that he doesn't endorse in the mind of some people that may determine not to vote for them because of the sentiment he has raised in the endorsement. So that is a possible influence. But generally, it cannot carry much weight as much as that of the G5 governors because of their political structures. Now, talking about the credibility of this endorsement itself, it depends also on the product, the person you are trying to sell. Is it acceptable to the people? Does it even mean the 4 criteria that you set yourself? And you set the career, you call it one task, track record. What is the track record of your nominee when he was given the opportunity to serve the country as governor? Is it better than the rest? You now talk about the vision. What are the vision that this person have expressed? Is it better than the other people's vision? As far as I'm concerned, Obi is more or less castigating the country, telling the woes of the country, rather than telling the vision of what he has for the country. And he has no good track record that is better than that of Tinubu, especially with the track record that Tinubu has made in Lagos. And what record did you have in Anambra when you were given the opportunity? The third one, you talked of C, which is a capacity. What capacity does Obi have that is better than Tinubu and Atiku?
Okay, thank you.
In that time of political experience, in that type of political management, these people are better at witting in those two. The edge he has over the two of them, because he's younger, he may have physical ability for the rigors of the office better than them. That is the only thing I think he has an edge over.
Thank you very much, Demola. So we come to the end of today's deliberations. My final thoughts myself is that Obi is gaining momentum. And I think, first of all, that the PDP has shot themselves in the foot by allowing the G5 to break away. That's directly, that has put Atiku's candidacy in jeopardy. I don't think the PDP are thinking about winning. If they are thinking about winning, they're living on a different planet. Now, if these G5 governors, Otom has supported Obi, that's a game changer. If Wike also supports Obi at the end of the day, that's another game changer because that's Rivers State with a large number of votes. But we need to think about the other two, there are three other governors, two from the southeast. And normally these are Igbo states, so we expect them to support Obi in any way. But one governor is standing out, the governor of your state, Seyi Makinde. If he goes the way of Obi, that would be a game changer. I think it's going to remain neutral. Or I think maybe it's going to support Jagaban. But if he decides to go the way of Obi, that might be a game changer. So I think that for all purposes, we are going to see what Lighton has called I think you call it something, I forgot what they call it now. So we are going to see
you called it the spoiler.
The spoiler, yeah. So I think that Obi might end up being a spoiler in the sense that it's going to push PDP back into number 3, and we're going to see a challenge between the APC and the Labour Party. And if all the youths of Nigeria can gather themselves together, which I think may not happen, because the youths are very, very vociferous on the internet. But when it comes to you actually go and take your PVC and casting your votes, they are very, very docile, and that's the problem with Nigeria. So I can see Lawal, you are putting up your hand. Yes.
Yeah. So I absolutely agree with what you said, because you know what people typically characterize young voters as is that they are not serious. You know, they can't make a decision and follow through. I would beg to differ, because the opposite is actually what's been happening. We've seen a lot of what they are doing on social media, but I would say that a lot of what they are doing actually goes beyond that. And to see young people motivated to a point where a lot of them they're spending their own time, they're using their own resources, and the approach is, well, I can't convince the world, but I have 3, 4, 5 people within my sphere of influence, and I'm going to talk to them. We are beginning to see the fruits of their persistence. And there is nothing as good as seeing younger people being involved in the affairs of their country, having a vision for where they want to take the country to, and who they believe can take them to that place. That's what we're seeing. And as you said, if they show up on election day, I think we will all be in for a rude awakening.
Yes.
Come on. But the problem is, if Jagaban wins this election, they will be saying he's rigging. Do you know around 9,000 polling votes? They don't have Labour Party doesn't have representative now. And how are they going to do it? I don't know. You said they have volunteer, they have this, they have that. Nobody is going to do all this stuff for them. Right? They are not on ground. They are not structured.
Trust me,
right?
they will.
So,
and in addition,
because they be shouting that the election was rigged, the election was been, but nobody, they don't have representative. They don't have a single representative in 9,000 wards in Nigeria. So what do you say about that, people?
Well, I mean, there is still time to recruit volunteers who would.
You are comparing Canada youth with Nigerian youth.
I am telling you, as I'm speaking, I know for the fact that there are ongoing activities to actually recruit people who will serve as Labour Party volunteers in a lot of those areas. I mean, they may not have announced all of that, but I know that there are actually activities going on at the moment. But in addition to that, I would say also that some of the things that the Labour Party is also making sure is that part of what they are telling their supporters is when you cast your vote, don't leave the polling booth. Stay there.
Sure, but you know what I think very, very honestly is that Peter Obi behaved like a neophyte and on the political terrain. If I were somebody like Peter Obi with all these endorsements, with all the gains, I mean, Peter Obi was a local player until 2019 when Atiku chose him as the vice president. That's when he got into the federal level.
Yes.
Yeah, that's when it got to. So right now, with all this, momentum behind him, he is the person who should have covered the entire whole of Nigeria. Right now, his party is only presenting 30% of the people who are contesting. So if you are producing only 30% of senators, 30% of House of Rep, how do you want to use all these political gains that you've had? So the Labour Party, they've not covered the ground. They have money, they have everything, and all they need to do is to send people to the local government by local government. There are only about 775 local government.
Actually, they don't. When you said they have money, they don't. And this is one of the reasons why I'm saying this election is going to mark a shift. You know, a lot of times I think we have a vision of what we want Nigeria to be, but we always defer to the current. The current entrenched political parties, specifically the APC, the PDP, maybe ABGA, they have members mostly who contribute to the party. Based on,
when you say they have no money, now they don't need money. They have all these youths online from different locations. All they need to do is just appoint somebody here. That's all they need to do. They are not covering the entire Nigeria. They are only covering 1/3 of Nigeria, and he wants to be president. So that's where his problem is going to be, because nobody has said, like I said, there will be no, if they don't have somebody at the polling booths, you know, the way the politicians rig elections is that they will just, if you don't have somebody there, they can just sign whatever they have to sign, and that's it.
Okay, so two things.
You have to go, Shupo.
You
have to go.
I'm not
you have to go for this election.
You see, I'm not disagreeing with the items that you are bringing up, and I will say first and foremost, this is a symptom of a party, a new party that is just trying to take its campaign and its influence across the country. All of these other parties that we have, APC, they were at this stage of their infancy at a particular point in time. So it is not anything new. What is different about this is that, one, they are not handing people money. The people who are actually participating believe in the movement, and they are using their own time and their own resources to do this. As this goes on, that will improve. With all of the things that they're going to be doing with electronic voting, it will make rigging very difficult. But I do agree that nevertheless, they still need to have their representatives at each of the polling booths to make sure that nothing funny happens and that the mandates as truly delivered by the people is, at the end of the day, what stands. So there's a lot of work to be done between now and election day. And I know, as a matter of fact, that there are activities right now to recruit people, especially in areas where the party has either lost some members, due to some of the violence that has been happening, or has not really been able to, recruit people who will be able to do those responsibilities. It's growing pains, but I can assure you that the Labour Party will get there by election day.
Well, I hope so. I hope all these youths who are chanting enchantments all over the place and
If I can come in a little bit, DJ, if I can come in and contribute a few minutes, I think the beneficiary for this momentum will be the Labour Party. Whatever it is, either Obi lose or won, they will gain a lot from this political dispensation for this 2023. I don't think they'll ever expect themselves to be in this level, at the national level of politics at this stage. So whatever it is, they are going to make a good outcome, better than what they should have been. Obi has made a mark, and I think it's not the end, it's the beginning, but I don't think the objective is going to be achieved in 2023. But it's not impossible for it to be achieved in the following political, maybe 2027 or thereafter, because it is a momentum, it's a forum, I mean, a foundation that will be built for greater Nigeria, and there was not two political party anymore. It's now becoming more multi-party, three or four parties now that can actually be contesting, which is a good thing for Nigeria development. The structure is not there. If you look at Nigeria, the logistic, they have not been, it's unfortunate they have not been prepared for it. They are making headways. It's not well-wishers that make political achievement. It's party activists that actually mobilizes, that actually structure, that actually deliver votes, not party sympathizers.
Okay.
A lot of people that are sympathizing to Obi now, even for the other party, the party mobilizer usually go out to bring people out. A lot of people doesn't go out to vote. It's because of the party infrastructures that usually bring people out to come and vote. Okay. And that is what may happen with Obi. There are a lot of party sympathizers, a lot of people, but if they don't have anybody to induce them or encourage them to come out to vote, they will just be passive there, and the vote will be wasted.
Thank you very much.
Obi has gathered a lot of momentum for the Labour Party.
Thank you, Demola. Because of time, we have
Obi has gathered a lot of.
Yeah, we have to go now. So, but just to react to one of the two things you said, I think this is the time for Obi's presidency. If you have OBJ's endorsement, you have endorsement of Edwin Clark, you have endorsement of G5, you have all the youth in Nigeria behind you, this is the time to hit it. If it doesn't hit it now, that's the end. I don't think it's coming back in 2027 or 2029. I think it's the time. So that's where we are today, gentlemen. So I want to give thank you, Mr. Ola Atadediba, all the way from America. Thank you for coming to today's meeting.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Ololawal, thank you for your wonderful contribution.
Thank you for having me today.
Mr. Demola Disa, thank you for your frank conversation today, and I hope to see you all next week. And to all our viewers, thank you for viewing. Please, if you have not subscribed, hit that subscription button so that when we do the next video, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. And please, if you have any comment, send your comment to us, and we'll be very happy to reply. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. Have a lovely day. We'll see you again next week.